Tip Tuesday. Coach Liv here, and I just wanted to talk to you about a few things. For one, the first thing is consistency. You cannot have consistency without resiliency, and really building up that resiliency muscle. And that really helps when you are focusing on getting your mind right and having the proper mindset to do that. I am on, as always, I'm on Instagram up here and Facebook down here, but I finally feel like I'm properly evened out on both platforms. It's taken me a minute, so give that to me for a second. But I hope that you had a phenomenal Easter for those of you that celebrate. I hope that you've had a phenomenal time up to this time of the year. It's literally the middle of April. We are in the middle of April. Are you how what are your goals looking like? What are the things that you've been consistent on or not so consistent on? And the reason I say that you cannot have consistency without resiliency is that life happens. We're not going to ignore the fact that life happens, and you've got to be able to bounce back from when life happens. So how are you building your resiliency muscle? Are you letting every stone that is thrown your way knock you down, or are you getting back up? And when I say like knock down, get back up, I'm not trying to ignore the fact that you do need to process the things that you're going through. So there's a lot of different traumas that might occur. There might be things that injure you that you really can't, like physical ailments that injure you that you can't necessarily just get back up on the horse with. I'm not necessarily saying that you should not give yourself time to heal. Wanted to make that very clear. But I find among the most successful people that I meet, I interview, they are all very, very resilient. And they've got their mindset made up that they are going to succeed regardless of the things that come their way. So the question is, what is your bounce back effect? How are you going to choose to succeed regardless of the obstacles set your way? Is your why big enough? I feel like I sound like an announcer right now, so I don't know why I sound like that. Maybe it's because my video is proper, but I do feel like an announcer today. Anyway, back on this topic of needing resiliency to bounce back. So I'll share a little story about my life, and this is the first time I've actually talked about it on live. So in December, Christmas, actually, I woke up, and I understand that there's a lot of people battling with this right now, so that's why I'm actually called to talk about this. I woke up wanting to kill myself on Christmas this year. And I'm a positive person. I'm a happy person, right? That doesn't mean being a positive and happy person does not mean that you don't battle with things. It doesn't mean that you don't get hit with different things. I still had to show up. I still had to go and do stuff. There was a process that I went through when it came to building up my resiliency through that time. And there was reasons why I was in a depressed state. And, I'm a believer, and there's a lot of shame and condemnation, oh, you shouldn't be depressed if you're a Christian. That's not true. That's a, the devil comes and attacks everybody, okay? Everybody. And depression is something I've battled with since I was 6 years old. So it's not something that just isn't, I've never been diagnosed, but I know what it feels like, right? Well, I still had podcasts to edit and upload. I still had things to show up for. Now, I did take a break from social media. That was really important for my mental health. So if you're listening to this or you're watching this and you're battling with your mental health or anything like that, definitely give yourself a break. Give yourself a break from what you got going on. Because guess what? The world will go on. The world will go on. Your mental health is so important. And so I took a break from that. I got in the Word like crazy. I read books. I had conversations with God. Real deep, dark conversations with God. I was trying to figure out, the statistics on suicide, and then a month later, that's when Miss America 2019 committed suicide. A month later, after me, and I just could feel her pain, and I'm feeling so many other people's pain, and how I stayed consistent while I was, going through suicidal thoughts and everything. I knew my why. I knew what my purpose was. I also had started a sobriety journey during this time, and I was like, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to, smoke weed or anything, because that's not going to help the situation. Sometimes you just got to face your battles head on. How resilient are you in doing that? Now, my story is going to be different than yours. My situation is different than yours, but at the same time, if you are battling with anything, know that every feeling is temporary. Every situation is temporary, and there are lows and highs. You're not always going to feel amazing. Everything's not always going to be right. But how fast do you change your own perspective and allow yourself the grace that is necessary to get back up? And that's really where I find that the resiliency kicks in. It's the grace that you have for yourself. It's your kickback, your bounce back effect, if you call it, to bounce back when you've been knocked down. And as you go through life, there's going to be bigger things and worse things that continue to knock you down. So learning about yourself in this process will help you so, so much. Learning that, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not be some perfect person, because nobody's perfect. Getting out of the idea that your life has to be like anybody else's. What do you need to tell yourself for your resiliency to be at a level that you can be consistent regardless of what you've got going on? Hey, how are you? What do you have to tell yourself? What do you have to tell yourself to get through what you're going through in this very moment? What does the younger version of you need to hear? How would you tell yourself, how would you help a friend that was going into your situation? Because I'm telling you right now, if you're beating yourself up in your current situation and you're not seeing the results that you want to see, I tell myself that I just want to be, and then I am. I love that. I love that. That's on Facebook. I just want to be, and then I am. One of the things that I've been telling myself lately is God knows my needs. My job is to seek the kingdom. And I only seek the approval of God. I'm telling you, listen, God, that has gotten me through so much. And that comparison is the thief of joy. And I fall into this trap. I'll be honest. I'll when I get low, I'll fall into the trap of comparison and, I should be here and I should be, no. Getting in the present moment and being good in the present is so, so, so important. And it'll help you when it comes to remaining consistent. Just doing the task, doing the things that you are set out to do. And not sitting here focusing on all of the things that so-and-so is doing and that person's doing, but focusing on what you should be doing. I was in a coffee shop, and I brought up the whole suicide situation with some random lady working at the coffee shop that was in her 60s, and she was like, she told me to shush. And I'm like, this is why people have all these problems when it comes to mental health, because people want to just shush you about it. I'm like, no. I'm like, and because I was talking about Miss America committing suicide and how, she was worried about being, we don't really know the reason, but she was in a dark place, right? And I know some of her concerns was that, she had turned 30 and everything like that. But I'm thinking, 60-year-olds did not have to watch all of their friends be extremely successful and get married and have children in their face, in their hand, when they were in their 30s. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to see or deal with the same type of isolation that we've all dealt with due to COVID. They didn't have to deal with that. And while they didn't have to, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't give them and lean into their grace and allow them to have some grace during this time. I'm not saying that, but we're living in a different time. This is not, hey, Brittany, this is not an everyday occurrence. No, this is for the first time in our history. Yes, there's a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of financial issues. A lot of people don't know how they're going to pay their bills. A lot of people are really stressed out with real life situations. And it's all crumbling down on them right now. And it finds it really, really, really hard to stay consistent with what they're doing, to stay on point. No, but we kept secrets that ultimately harmed us mentally. Yes, that's my mom. My mom's commenting on Instagram. Yeah, I think that we all have different sides of trauma, different sides of ailments and everything that we have to address, we have to heal. And to be truly resilient, you really got to do some healing. You really do. There's different parts of your life that you might want to heal on, There's so many things that I constantly find like, oh, I need to forgive myself and forgive others, That'll also help you not hold on to that resentment. I also find that so many people have critical conditions because of the stress that they've held on to. Stress is related to is the cause of 90% of all illnesses. All illnesses. 90% is stress related. And we get so caught up with the demons in our minds, the problems that we go through, that we don't process that properly. So when I talk about resiliency, I'm not saying to ignore what you're going through. I'm saying to heal through your processes, heal through the hurt, heal through the pain, and grow from it. Grow through what you go through. You don't have to ignore. I'm not telling you to ignore what you're going through to just work and be productive. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Coaching on productivity is not to ignore the importance of the person. And that's one of the things when it comes to working with me. I will push you out of your comfort zone. You will be doing things that you're not necessarily used to doing, but that's why you would work with somebody like me. You work with somebody like me to heal at a rapid pace, to get done what you want to get done at a rapid pace. And when I say heal, I mean the current traumas that are coming at you, that are coming your way. And you know what? I've worked hand in hand with therapists, because I'm not a therapist, I'm a coach, and I'm here to take you from where you are to where you want to be. But that resiliency muscle is a big part of that. Your how you build that up and how you come back after a setback. Because honey, there's setbacks in this world. There are. And if you haven't been pleasured to experience a setback, then good for you. Good for you. You've got one coming. I'm not trying to wish anything bad on anybody, but I'm just saying, no one gets out of this world unharmed. But those lessons, there's power in our pain. And not all pain is bad. Not all pain is bad pain. It might feel bad in the moment, but it produces so much growth. So when you're going through what you're going through, look to lean into it. Look to face it. Look to overcome it. Look to conquer it. Look to heal from it. Because it takes consistency to grow in your business, to grow in whatever avenue of life that you're trying to grow through. Your relationships take consistency. You have to consistently show up for your partner and for yourself. You need to consistently show up for yourself. And when you consistently do things, you build your confidence. You build your confidence on so many so many levels. You know, and I'm not for everybody. I know that. I'm not for the average person that just wants to work in everyday life, that doesn't have a calling on them. I get that. That's fine. That's fine. But for the people I'm for, this is a message for you. This is a message for the people that are making big changes in their world, in their life, and they're constantly dealing with battles that nobody sees because they handle it with so much grace. But don't forget, please don't forget to take care of yourself along the process. Don't forget to heal through what you go through, to process your emotions, and to actually dive into your personal development and heal. Don't forget to do that. Don't forget to do that. Now, if this is an area that you really want to go to the next level, you really want help in this area, definitely message me. I'm leaving my links below in the comment section on Facebook to book a complimentary 20-minute strategy session with me. I'm more than happy to come up with a plan with you to do the next level in your life and really see how I can help you do that. So I hope you enjoyed this Transformational Tip Tuesday. I hope you got something out of it. If you watch this on replay, let me know that you saw it on replay. And yeah, go out and be a badass.